Imagine waking up tomorrow to find the river that has fed your family, nurtured your crops, and defined your culture has vanished. Not because of climate change alone, but because those controlling its headwaters decided to divert all the water for their own gain. This isn't a futuristic nightmare. For millions downstream, this could be an imminent reality. Water has been and always will be the essence of life. From sustaining ancient civilizations to powering modern economies, rivers are our lifelines. Yet today, a growing challenge is emerging. What happens when the upper Riparian states hoard the very resource we all depend on? In today's video, we're going to explore this potential crisis, focusing on two of the world's most important rivers, the Indus and the Nile. We'll examine real-life scenarios, verified facts, and the far-reaching consequences of unchecked water diversion. Stay tuned, because the future of millions and the balance of entire regions might just depend on what we do today. Rivers aren't just water channels. They're dynamic systems that support biodiversity, agriculture, economies, and vibrant cultures. They carry sediment that enriches soils, they enable commerce, and they serve as a symbol of life's interconnectedness. For example, consider the Indus River. At over 3,000 kilometers long, it has been a vein running through the heart of South Asia, a river around which one of the world's oldest civilizations emerged. Now, decades later, the Indus still flows as the backbone of agriculture for millions in Pakistan, where it supports a vast network of farming communities. Almost 90% of the country's food production hinges on timely, adequate water supply from this mighty river. But what if this abundance is siphoned off upstream? What if those in the upper riparian regions, with burgeoning industries and expanding populations, begin to divert or overexploit this resource without restraint? That decision could transform a life-sustaining artery into a parched memory, leaving downstream populations with crippling water shortages and severe economic downturns. Let's delve deeper into the Indus scenario. Originating high in the mountainous regions, the Indus winds its way across diverse landscapes before reaching the plains where agriculture thrives. Historically, its waters have nurtured large-scale irrigation systems and have been key to the prosperity of the region. Today, however, rapid industrial growth and unsustainable water management practices in the upper reaches could upset this delicate balance. Imagine a near future where extensive dam constructions, aggressive irrigation schemes, and industrial water extraction upstream create a dramatic drop in water flow downstream. Farmers in Pakistan start to see their fields dry up. Once fertile land turns into dust, reducing crop yields drastically. As harvests falter, food prices soar, triggering economic instability and social unrest. Verified reports from water resource organizations and climate impact studies warn that without coordinated management and adherence to treaties like the Indus Waters Treaty, these scenarios could very well unfold in the coming decades. Moreover, this isn't just about agriculture. Urban centers that rely on the river for drinking water, sanitation, and power generation could face a cascade of public health crises and energy shortages. The environmental degradation would extend beyond human society, risking the collapse of aquatic ecosystems and biodiversity that have thrived for centuries. The Nile, the longest river on Earth, tells a similar story, a narrative of life interwoven with the flow of water. Historically, the Nile's annual floods fertilized vast tracts of land, making Egypt and its neighboring countries the cradles of ancient civilization. However, contemporary debates over water management have put this iconic river in peril. In recent years, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, has become a focal point of intense geopolitical negotiations. Ethiopia, an upstream riparian nation, views the GERD as a symbol of progress and a vital tool for economic development. Yet Egypt, which relies almost entirely on the Nile for its freshwater supply, fears that increased upstream usage could restrict its water access. Experts warn that if Ethiopia, and any other upper riparian states, push too hard, the resulting water deficit could lead to severe constraints on agricultural production and widespread resource conflicts. Studies by international water management bodies confirm that the imbalance in water distribution could inflict environmental damage, spark regional tensions, and even destabilize entire economies. The Nile's fate, like the Indus, remains contingent on diligent, transparent, and cooperative management amongst all nations sharing its waters. Let's step back and consider the broader consequences of these scenarios. Water scarcity in major river basins isn't merely an isolated environmental challenge. It's at the nexus of ecology, economy, and ethics. Environmentally, natural sediment flows would be severely disrupted. These sediment transports are essential for maintaining soil fertility and supporting the natural habitats along the river. Aquatic ecosystems would collapse without the consistent water levels necessary for fish, amphibians, and other aquatic species to survive. The reduction of water can lead to increased salinity in arid regions, further degrading precious farmland. Economically, agricultural output is poised to take a massive hit. Dwindling river flow means lower crop yields, leading to food scarcity and price hikes. Regions once thriving on river-based commerce might spiral into economic depression as transportation and energy production suffer. The social cost is staggering. Unemployment, food riots, and even migration crises could erupt in a desperate scramble for viable living conditions. Socially and ethically, water is not just a tradable commodity, it's a fundamental human right. When upstream nations control access to this resource disproportionately, the downstream populations are essentially being hemmed in, stripped of the right to secure a basic human need. This imbalance might ignite long-standing tensions between nations, fostering conflicts that could escalate into broader geopolitical crises. Ethically, this raises questions about resource exploitation, equity, and the responsibility of nations to preserve shared natural heritage. Consider this scenario to visualize this cascade. Upper riparian exploitation leads to reduced river flow downstream. This leads to environmental degradation and economic instability. Environmental degradation collapses the ecosystem, and economic instability leads to social unrest and migration. Such a chain reaction shows that the implications stretch far beyond local boundaries. They affect environmental stability, national economies, and global peace. So, what can be done to avert this looming crisis? The answer lies in proactive cooperative water management and technological innovation. Here are a few strategies. First, strengthened international treaties. Reinforcing agreements like the Indus Waters Treaty and launching new, transparent dialogue channels for the Nile could help ensure fair water distribution. International monitoring and dispute resolution bodies must be empowered to enforce these agreements. 2. Sustainable water management practices. Adoption of modern water-saving techniques in agriculture, including drip irrigation, water recycling, and rainwater harvesting, can reduce overall consumption. Investing in technology that monitors and optimizes water usage across the entire river basin is essential. 3. Alternative energy and economic diversification. Nations dependent on a single water source for economic stability should diversify. Relying solely on river water for power generation or agriculture is risky. Success stories from various regions illustrate that a mix of renewable energy and diversified economic sectors can reduce vulnerabilities. Fourth, community engagement and local governance. Empowering local communities to participate in water management initiatives not only promotes transparency, but also ensures that solutions meet the real needs of those most affected. Grassroots movements and local governments play a pivotal role in advocating for sustainable practices. The path forward isn't simple, and it demands a blend of diplomacy, science, and grassroots activism. Yet, the potential rewards, a stable, sustainable water future for millions, make these efforts indispensable. In summary, the threat of our rivers running dry is not a distant possibility. It's a crisis on the horizon if current water management practices persist. The Indus, with its life-giving waters now at risk from upstream exploitation, and the Nile, fraught with geopolitical tension over dam projects, serve as urgent reminders of what's at stake. Our actions today, from international treaty negotiations to local water conservation efforts, will determine the fate of millions. We must strive for fairness, innovation, and above all, a commitment to sustaining these indispensable resources. It's not just about preserving nature, it's about protecting lives, cultures, and the very foundation of our civilizations. Now we need you. Join the conversation by sharing your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this exploration eye-opening, please like, share, and subscribe. Together, we can shine a light on this hidden crisis and push for a better, more sustainable future. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out our next video where we delve into cutting-edge water conservation technologies that are already making a real difference across the globe. The story of our rivers is one of interconnectedness, and every drop counts.